Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more fighting. Make sure you smash the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Now, some really good news to me, and I'm trying to contain my excitement and I'll explain why. But it was just announced today that Jon Jones will return from a long hiatus to face champion Daniel Cormier in a light heavyweight fight. And this is a good fight. This is a rematch that should have happened already. However, Jon Jones couldn't get his act together outside of the octagon. He had a hit and run in 2015. He tested positive. He even said in this, they did like a little press conference, he said that I beat you a week after basically a cocaine binge, right? And now they're set to fight, and I'm looking forward to it. Jon Jones, he's widely considered by a lot of people to be the best fighter the UFC has ever seen. He's only 29 years old, but he hasn't always made the right decisions. As far as Cormier, he had what was supposed to be a tough fight with Anthony Rumble Johnson, and he did a two-peat and he beat him easily. I do think that was in part to Johnson. Rumble didn't really use his strengths. He tried to have his back against the cage. He didn't use that immense power that he carries, and that doesn't make sense against a wrestler. But that's not Cormier's fault. He did what he had to do, and he actually got the win. Now they're talking about this fight is the next fight, and I think it's a great fight. I think it's a great fight that needed to happen. And the reason I said I'm not going to be too happy or too excited, even though they announced it for UFC 214 July 29th in Anaheim. I'm out of California, so I live in California. Everything's great, you know what I mean? I like it. They're having it at the Honda Center and everything. But the reason I'm not getting too excited is because Jon Jones has been MIA for a while, and this fight was already scheduled, and I got my hopes up for that rematch. Jon Jones was on social media posting pictures of Family Matters, calling Daniel Cormier Carl Winslow, and doing these photoshops, and they were going back and forth. And Jon Jones was being called Tyrone Biggums by Daniel Cormier. So I was all into it and I was all hyped. And then last minute, he gets pulled from the card because they said that you have been pulled for a potential flag with USADA, and then the rest is history. So I hope this gets done and actually goes through. That's what I mean by get done. It is a done deal. They have the Honda Center reserved, UFC 214, and they had that summer kickoff news conference, and the two were going back and forth. So I really like this, but again, I'm not going to get too excited because even though Dana White wasn't at this presser, he's booking Jimmy Manuwa as like an understudy just in case, like because of the troubled past, I guess, with Jon Jones, and in case something fully or fishy comes about, then he'll have a backup. And as far as Jimmy Manuwa, that's a solid fight, but if you watch his fight with Corey Anderson, he has good power, single shot knockout, stuff like that. But the fight we need and the UFC needs, really the number one and the number one guy, and the only reason he's not number one is because of, like I said, his personal demons outside of the octagon, is Jon Jones. But those are the top guys, the 1 and 2, or really 1A and 1B, you know what I mean, until they fight again. Like I said, Cormier is coming off a good win against another puncher. Jon Jones is a complete fighter, but sometimes Jon Jones is kind of like the Tyson Fury of the UFC. Like at the pinnacle where you expect him to do the best, and then something weird happens, like, oh, you were doing coke, really? You know what I mean? It's just out of nowhere. But both guys are skilled, and I'm not comparing Tyson Fury and Jon Jones' skills directly because they have different styles of fights, but I'm just talking about their decision making and the bad judgment calls and hit and runs and weird things being said and getting pulled from cards and big fights. Tyson Fury in the boxing was supposed to fight Klitschko. That would have been a nice size payday, and then he popped dirty for cocaine, and he failed 2 drug tests. So I want to see it. I'm happy. I'm gonna keep the video time down just because there's nothing else to say. I can go back and forth and talk about all the banter and hey, I beat you on coke and stuff. But we got to, with a lot of these UFC fights, you see main events, people getting pulled left and right and people getting injured and stuff. So I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope this fight does go down as planned. And it's good to see Jon Jones back. Hopefully he gets it together. And I mean, you got to prove. But I'm anxious to see. Another thing for me is any type of layoff, especially if you have personal demons like that. Because Jon Jones was in serious shape right before the Cormier fight. He was like some of the best shape I've ever seen him in. And then it all went to waste. And then he didn't get the payday, got pulled from the car, got yanked. And then I think he fought like an exhibition overseas or something like that. He was in like some kind of grappling contest. And it was just kind of a waste. So being on the sidelines is not necessarily a good thing. I don't know what he's doing right now. I don't know where his head's at. I don't know what type of shape he's in. He looked like he was in decent shape, but just being, you can have that ring rust and cage rust and just not being active. And Cormier's been pretty active. So we'll see what happens. Let me know who you're picking. But if Jon Jones is in full form, he's a handful, and he's definitely skilled and hard to beat. But Cormier has more momentum because he's more of a straight arrow, and he's been on top of things and more active. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.